Yes. So hi everyone. My name is Sagar Kakkala, and today we are here for AI session. In here we'll be talking about AI agents. And before we begin this session, since this session would be uploaded in YouTube, so I'll share screen to show how things work here in Sagar Kakkala's world. You just had to remember my name, Sagar Kakkala, and you'll have my website, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And in YouTube, everything is separated by playlists. Let's say you'll have it in the home tab itself. Okay, I did not add this. So in playlist this would be uploaded in a new playlist that I kept like AOps with MLOps with Sargakala English. So this is not like we did not mix up with DevOps yet. So this is more like an individual sessions that we are going into, and even this session would be uploaded there. And yes, and the same way here in the website, everything is segregated by contents of the blog. Just get into contents of blog. You'll have three titles: DevOps with Sarga Kala, AOps MLOps with Sarga Kala, and Finance with Sarga Kala. And this is actually specific for India actually. And here we'll start this session now. So what actually AI agents will do? AI agent is nothing but you could take example of let's say for OpenAI ChatGPT is an AI agent, and for Microsoft Copilot and for Google it's Gemini. The same way you could have your own AI agent, and what we'll see we'll understand it clearly once we get into demo and into practicals. And before we start this AI agent, let's say you need to have an OpenAI API key. And for that OpenAI API key, since we had already discussed in the previous sessions of how to generate OpenAI API key, you had to add your card and everything. So I just mentioned here you had to follow this step of prerequisites before making a finance model. So you had to just get into this step. You had to go for OpenAI API key. You had to get an OpenAI API key. Since I already created an API key, it'll be visible only once. You had to copy it, and if you, in case if you lost it, only thing is you had to create new key, and there's no other go. So that's how you'll generate your OpenAI API key, and once it is done, what I suggested is for this demo especially, we'll be using Jupyter Notebook inside our local, and for that we'll be downloading Anaconda. I think if you're into Python and other sources, you might be aware of Anaconda. So once you download it, since mine is Mac, I downloaded for Mac. You could download for Windows or something you need. And once Anaconda is downloaded, we'll have a Jupyter notebook. We'll be launching maybe from here we'll start the demo itself. Yeah, we'll launch Jupyter notebook. So this would open in your local browser, and for me since I'm using Mac, it opened in Safari. So it opened here, and here I created a folder AI agents. Maybe I'll use that same. You could just click on new folder and AI agents. And before we start, okay, okay, let me go for home tab. Since I had explained this, how to use Jupyter, maybe we'll go on a bit of overview as well. Let's say, first thing you need to do is since you generated an OpenAI API key, what we'll do, we will actually get that key in an environment variable file. And for that, we will be using this code called with open.env. We are creating .env file. We are just appending it. And here is where I'm specifying my OpenAI API key, whatever OpenAI API key is generated for you. We will be using the same here. Okay, yes. We will be you'll be placing the OpenAI API key here. So this would be an important step for our AI agent, because it has because we are using OpenAI agents. So you need an OpenAI API key for our agents to contact with the models. So this is where this key plays a major role. It's more what do you call a password or token or an access. And so this plays a major role. And since we don't want to expose it in the code, we're just having it once in an environment file that we're creating. So this would create a .env file with your OpenAI API key inside it. Till here it's clear, right? Because we still didn't start the AI agent, but we'll be starting it. Till here it's clear, right?
Yeah, it's clear, sir.
Yes. And now, maybe like, let me do this. Where is this? Yes, Safari browser. Yes. So I'm going for home tab. Here, what I'm doing is, okay, let me just, yeah, it's just, I'm deleting this because this is just nothing. Okay, fine. Okay, let me rename this. I think like it is new one. Let me just, so like whenever you want to create a notebook, you'll just click on new and notebook. So, so this would actually create a notebook for you. Okay. Sorry. Since I'm renaming it to AI agents just for me to have a track of have a clear track because like it opens tabs like multiple times. So here is where I'm opening like AI agents. So once this is done, let's say now when you open the notebook, it asks for kernel like by default, like you could select Python because like we'll be using Python itself for this entire AI agent session. So I'm just selecting Python. And from here, yes, here, like since we want to call this environment variable, so this is how we'll call from .env, that .env file we created, import load.env, like whatever it is. And like till here, like it imports. And if you want to check like whether it imported the API key or not, it's just like we're calling load.env function. So if it returns true, that means like we're able to successfully call our API key. I think I had to go between multiple browsers. And here, like to run Jupyter, either you could click on run here, or in your system, you could just press shift plus enter. So both run the code. Like if it moves into an Excel, it means your lines of code executed perfectly. If it doesn't move, like maybe if there is an error, like you'll able to find the error block here itself. So we're able to execute our code successfully. It's done. And now let's go for installing OpenAI agents because like we are going to use OpenAI here, like because like OpenAI is like available for everyone, like most of you know ChatGPT as well. So that's where I'm actually going for OpenAI agents. And this is actually a Python SDK that we are going to use. So just running. Okay. So it installed OpenAI agents. Fine. Now Now let's check like once if you install agents, all right, let's check if it is able to import our agent and runner. Here agent is nothing but your kind of model and runner is something like and you could think of it like an API. Let's say for any response you give, like it goes and asks the agent like from client to server and like whatever response the agent give, like it displays to you. So it's a kind of like connection between like user and the agent. So that's how runner is used here. So we'll be using this. Okay, so in went to next line, it means our agents were imported successfully. And now we will be building our own AI agent now. And to build our own AI agent, like you'll have some set of instructions. Like first is like agent and you're calling agent and name whatever you want to name your agent. You could name it anything the way you want, but here the instructions must be clear, like what you want your agent to do. Let's say because you could actually use an agent like a detective agent or like some artist agent or a sketch agent or anything, whatever you want your chat gpt to do, you could just specify that and you could say like the instructions are more like, let's say like when you give an instruction like I think like when you go for when we went for prompt engineering we heard this, like you could say like be my resume creator, like be my digital market assistant or anything, like you could create your agent anything, but here like to make things simpler I just said like you're an Portugal language translator and I told your like instructions must be clear. It said like you are a Portuguese language translator. You need to take user inputs in English and translate it in Portuguese. So by the way, what would this agent do? Like if I say hi, like it has to like translate me into Portuguese. So that's what this agent work is. So that's how I designed it. I mean, like you could design it on your own. Even you could go for like Spanish, French, or anything if you want to play, or a detective, artist, or anything, or a helper agent. So yes, like it executed our agent now. So our agent is now created now. And what will we do? Now we are also having chat history. Let's say like whatever inputs you gave and the outputs you want, like we'll be creating a chat history of it. Just more like to check logs. Yes. And here is where things start getting interesting. So here, like we'll be using loops here, like for this agent. Say like we are asking user input, like when user asks, please provide a word. This is a display that user would get to input, like to enter a word or a sentence you want to translate. If user input is like exit or buy, let's say like if I am as a user like typing exit or buy, it says it breaks the loop because we're in the loop. So it breaks the loop, it ends the bot, like it ends the agent. And like if user input is history, let's say if user enters history, like we'll see it in practical as well. What I'm doing is in a loop, like where we had like our response and chat GPT response, we are enumerating it in like chat history. Like we would be like it's more like a storing it in a variable. So what we will do, like your answer plus chat GPT answer, like would be printed in every new line. And even if the history is written, like you're continuing the bot, like we are not breaking the loop. Only if exit and buy is there, the agent would break. And if not, it will continue. And here, what we are doing, as I said, like runner is something that will call the agent. So it will call the agent and it says to the agent, like the user input is this. And now the agent knows, okay, user gave this input. So my work is this, like I'm a Portugal translator and I had to take user's input and I had to translate in Portuguese. And like once it's translated, so it will respond me with the final output. And here since like chat history, like every time the user gives answers and like you bit have like a bit of chat between you and the agent, like what happens is the chat history increases, so I'm going to append everything there. So the user input and response, like what I'm doing, like user input and response, these are the variables here, like u and b. So I'm iterating it. It's more like your you guys know append, right? Like it's like adding in the file. That's it. So we'll be having like a response. Like here, like the output is response. And here it's in the dialog box. Maybe like let's see it in practical. You guys understood the code, right? Like what it does. Maybe 1 second. I could actually show from here practically. So here, like it asked, please provide word or to translate. So I'm actually saying hi. So since it's Portuguese, okay, 1 second. I think it's open a invalid API key. Yeah. Mm, this is not something that I found. Okay, fine. Let me go for this again. Mhm. Incorrect API, your API key. Let me go for API keys once again. Okay, I did run, right? Let me create new key itself. I actually saved it in Notepad here. Okay, fine. Hmm, yes. Okay, it ran the key now. Let's go for AI agents now. Let me delete these cells. I'm deleting this cell. Okay, let me restart kernel as well. Okay. Mm. Name runner is not defined. Okay, I think like cleared output, right? Fine. Okay, yes, fine. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, let me try now this. Hoping it would work. Okay. Okay, finally it worked. I think it was problem because of OpenAPI API key. And now you understood the importance of this API key, right? So see, because like it said Ola. Ola is like because yeah, Ola is like a Portuguese word of saying hi, how are you? So it says like como você está? So it's like again like how are you in Portuguese. Now if I want to check the history, so history is nothing but like your response between here like hi Ola, like you responded hi, chatbot responded Ola. So this is where like your response and ChatGPT response, and here the variable u and b is nothing but here user input and response. And if you want to like next like execute the cell, it will not exit because like this is still running in the loop. And for that like loop to end, like what we specified, if user input is exit or buy, it will print sayonara amigo and just break. Okay, so I'm just pressing exit. So now it ended the loop. So till here you're clear, right? Like how we built an AI agent. It was actually pretty simple as well. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, we are clear.
Okay, respond to me now because I will not be able to understand what's happening. Okay, fine. And now, like till the code is clear, right? Ganesh, for you too. Like what we did, like chat history and this thing, because like the other things would depend on code. Because Shravan is actually well into Python. I think he'll be able to understand. Yes, Ganesh, for you it's clear or not?
Yeah, I got it. Got it. It's clear.
Yes. Yes. Now we'll use handoff agents. Handoff agents are nothing but you could think of like handing over. Let's say you could think of your manager, and let's say like if this is like a high priority work, he would be assigning it to senior. And if it is not a high priority, like he would be assigning it in a junior. Like the first thing would be the work would be coming from, let's say, not maybe like you could think of manager only. The work would be given to like manager, and here manager distributes the work based on like what the work is. Like he'll see, okay, like this guy could do, so this guy would be assigned to this task, and this guy would be assigned to this task. So that's like handing over. The same way handoff agents, let's say like if you're actually maybe if you are in Europe or something, like since like each country has its own language, and like every country like they prefer to have text or even app or even applications or even the keyboard in their own languages. So now if you want to like run something like a delivery app, maybe like let's say like food delivery app like all over Europe, And now what happened is like you had to like for Spain you had to Spanish, and France you had to go for French. Your app must speak in French. So this is how like this handoff agents could come into place. Let's say like here we are actually using a Spanish agent, and in a Spanish agent we are saying like you speak only in English. And here for agent you need to know that name and instructions like plays what do you call arguments. Like these are important arguments for an agent, like name and instructions. So here I created a Spanish agent, just like a mini agent I could say. And here it's an English agent. So you speak only English. And now what I did, I created another agent, like a handoff agent, just like we gave example as a manager, right? So what this tray agent is do, like it checks for user input, and like if user speaks English, like it'll give the response in English. If user speaks Spanish, it'll give the response in Spanish. So that's how it is. And here it's the same like previous, like chat history. And here async is nothing but it's an actually Python library function. So where you could run like two or three programs, I think parallelly. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shravan. Fine. Here, async like we are actually defining this function like chat with agent function. In this, like input, like what we are giving, and an input is like hello type exit or quit for cheating. It's the same thing like before. And in history, we are actually enumerating history. And here we are actually using triage agent. So the agent, like which says like here, like what we give triage agent, like handoff to appropriate agent based on language of request. So handoff is like either Spanish agent or English agent. So here we're actually not calling both the agents, we're only calling triage agent. So triage agent takes care of handoffs, like to call which agent. Like since this is a basic example, you could call any agent there. But example, like if there are like a lot of languages or something, that's where like handoffs could be. Like this is one of the use case to use handoffs, but I think there would be like multiple purposes for this handoffs as well, which I could not clearly think of right now. So this is a triage agent, like that would actually give us our response. Like here, like we're actually waiting for a function, like we are calling the function here now. So let us run this code now. Yes. Here, let's say I'm typing in English. Hi, 1 second. Yeah. It says, hello, how can I help you today? Now, in Spanish, it's just like hello, it's hola. So it said like hola, I can't read Spanish. So it replied to me in Spanish. Now history, if I see, like if it was like speaking in English, I speak in English, it replied in English. If I speak in Spanish, it replied in Spanish. Same way again, like for loop to quit, either exit, you have to type exit or quit. Yes, this kind of agent is clear, right? Yes.
Yeah, it's clear,
Yeah,
sir.
Yes, now we'll go for AI agent with tools. Let's say, like there would be like multiple tools like you could use. This is more like now what we saw was more like a chatbot. And let's say if you're using ChatGPT, now ChatGPT could generate images. Let's say you give a picture and say like generate image, it would be able to generate. Now in the same way, I'm actually going for OpenAI agent tools. And in this OpenAI agent tools, like these are the number of tools that you could integrate with your chatbot. Now, what we did was like a chatbot kind of thing, where we actually said like your purpose is this. It's more like your own customized chatbot using AI agents. Let's say if you want these chatbots to work like ChatGPT, like image generations or all, you had to attach these available tools, any tools you could use. Here we'll be using web search. And like before we use web search, like we would be checking how this web search tool works. Like web search is nothing but it'll actually search the web, like search the browser and check what's the current status. Let's say if you want to like check the news in US about tariffs and all, and your chatbot won't be able to do because like it does not have access to internet. And for it to have access to internet, we'll be attaching it a tool. And here like to access internet, we'll be attaching web search tool. We'll be seeing that. And here I'm giving the same thing, like just like a handoff agents. I think I'll not go into the code because the code is the same every time. It's just like I'm just having a weather agent here, and in a weather agent, I said you search the internet about current temperature of city asked by user and give answer to the user. So it's the same code, like without tool, without any tool. It's just like a chatbot without any access to internet. Let's me say I asked it a temperature of um tell me any city that you like if you want. Maybe Hyderabad I can go. Hmm. One second. As of now, as you could see, it said I do not have real-time access to browse the internet. So it said I can't tell now what's the temperature because for it it has to search in the internet. Now what we'll do, we'll attach a tool. It's just like a simple one line of code that we add. We are attaching web search tool. Just like from agents, we are also importing web search tool. And here in the weather agent, we are adding this single line like web search tool. And we are actually passing arguments. And where you could see these arguments is just like in OpenAI web search tool, it said these arguments are required. Let's say, hmm, where is this? This is the web search tool, right? Uh, 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 uh. There are arguments. Okay, yeah. These are the arguments it requires. Tools, type is web search, and arguments type, country, city, and region. And how you'll pass argument. The country field is a two-letter word, and the time zone is like this. And for country, if you want, like you could go scroll, like they gave the Wikipedia page, and I took India actually. So whatever web search it does, like it will do from India for me now. Like the user is located in India, a kind of. So you are searching from India. So here in this, like country is IN, and I'm searching like when I'm in Vishakhapatnam. So it's more like I'm staying there and I'm searching there. And if I want, I could change the country to Portugal and like to check the code. Let's say what's the Portugal code here? MNOPPP. Yeah, Portugal is PT. And same way, I could specify city as Porto. And let's go for now this. Hmm. Yes, now I'm running this. Cell gun. Okay, okay, fine. Yeah, I did not exit the loop here, I guess. Yes, it's my bad. Yeah, now because I did not exit the loop. That's why it's not running the code. As I said, you had to exit the loop. Okay, now I would say Hyderabad. Mm, mm, Wait a second. I think it has to wait. Okay, Hyderabad is like 30 degrees Celsius now. Let's check on the internet if it's like really. Hyderabad temperature. No. I think like almost it said like 28 degrees Celsius. How much it said? 30 degrees Celsius. It's approximately 30 degrees Celsius. Maybe I think I'll go for Porto now. Let's see. Okay, what it said like 14 degrees Celsius, but it's able to browse the internet now. Okay, 13 degrees. I think it's going on approximate. Fine. Okay, it says fine. Till here it's clear, right? Because now since we attached the tool, like it's able to browse the internet, like instead of answering, I cannot access. Yes.
Yeah, it's clear, Sagar.
Okay, I think like that's all on the AI agents thing that I had. Like we had learned about like how to build your own AI agent and like how to use handoffs, like how to integrate AI tools with agents on a basic level. In further sessions, like we'll be learning about MCP as well. I think yes, that's all I have. Let me know if you guys had any queries still here. Yes. Okay, I think like okay. If you guys could turn your cameras on, like we'll just take a screenshot and we'll end this here. Let me stop recording.